This is the story of how your financial gifts, along with the gifts of others, past and present, support the mission and ministry of our denomination, the United Church of Christ. The United Church of Christ has 4 settings where ministry, in fact, takes place: local churches, associations, conferences, and a national setting. The relationships between these settings are covenantal and not hierarchical. Each and every setting is free to hear and to act on God's call in its own way, and we are connected and interdependent.
66,000 people attend the 235 UCC local churches in Connecticut. These local churches connect with nearby churches through 15 associations, where they share best practices and determine licenses and ordinations. The Connecticut Conference is one of 38 conferences in the UCC. The national headquarters of the UCC is in Cleveland. The whole church gathers every other year for General Synod.
There are 2 main ways that local churches give money to the other settings of the UCC: our church's wider mission and per capita contributions. Our church's wider mission has 5 parts: basic support and 4 special offerings. The OCWM special offerings are restricted for specific purposes, and 100% of giving is used for these purposes. These gifts multiply and extend the impact of your church throughout our country and the world. OCWM basic support is unrestricted support for the conference and national settings. This unrestricted support provides the structures needed so that 100% of special offerings can be used as designated. This unrestricted support is also invested in programs, resources, and tools to keep the local UCC churches strong, effective, and vital. 50% of OCWM basic support gifts is sent to the national ministries of the UCC. The remaining 50% of these gifts is retained by the Connecticut Conference and pooled with other unrestricted gifts to fund the work of the conference. Local churches pay dues to their association, usually in the form of a per capita amount. Local churches are requested to make per capita contributions to the conference as well. The contribution rate for 2011 through 2016 was $8 per capita. In June, the conference annual meeting voted to increase the request to $10 per capita. 100% of these per capita contributions are retained by the conference. To recap, local churches provide financial support for other arms of the United Church of Christ. Associations are funded by dues, usually in the form of per capita contributions. The national church receives half of OCWM basic support and almost all of the OCWM special offerings. The conference receives half of OCWM basic support, a small portion of the OCWM special offerings, and per capita contributions.
Your gifts and contributions to the conference are translated into mission through the work of the conference staff. For example, Karen Zeal works with local church faith formation staff or volunteers, supporting work that helps local church members to grow in discipleship.
This process is at the center of your conference's work, so we're going to spell it out for you again. We gratefully use your gifts and contributions by hiring talented and dedicated people. These people work with churches to develop leaders and promote vitality. And then these people have a greater impact on the world through their mission and their ministry. Now here are some stories about the impact of your gifts.
So the way it works is members take a card and they fill out the card with a story of how they've seen God at work here in the church or in their lives, in the world. They fill the card out and they put the card right into this bag here. And then they figure out what category it is. Is it friendship, compassion, care, children, joy, laughter, prayer, presence, service, justice, or mission, or awe and thanksgiving? Then they go ahead and take a ball, say it's awe and thanksgiving, an experience of really seeing God and feeling awe in the world, and they throw the ball in the meter, and that's how we are building our vitality meter. This idea came from the conference minister to celebrate vitality here, and our vitality continues to grow. Our support for the conference helps the conference to support other congregations in similar ways.
10 years ago, people here were not always certain that being part of the UCC was in our best interests. But today, I think we really like being part of the UCC. We use a lot of the resources. We've done youth revitalization work. We've followed the search and call process. We've trained people in generosity coaching. And most recently, we've become an open and affirming church using this UCC process. If we don't help support the conference financially, the conference can't do all the things that it does.
When I first came to Tolland, one of the things that immediately impressed me about the Connecticut Conference was the availability of a number of resources. For instance, I was given the opportunity to become a part of a community of practice where I met a number of clergy and colleagues who became incredibly supportive of me and my ministry here. I was also really impressed with the availability of the conference staff, from the conference minister to the regional minister, to support me and the ministry that we are undertaking here in Tolland was hugely helpful. Our leadership also recognized that as we were considering our OCWM gift, that we would not be the only ones who were benefiting from this, that our gift was supporting local churches beyond our church, and that was really important as we considered the gift that we would be given.
My son Aaron started coming to camp here when he was 5, has been a conferee, and is on Camp Family this summer.
I've wanted to be on Silver Lake summer staff my entire life. I remember coming here as a conferee and just feeling the energy of this place and being surrounded by great people.
Silver Lake is a place where my son can see a community that shares the open and welcoming values that I try to teach at home. Here, he sees a church that accepts all kinds of people, actively cares about social and environmental justice, and celebrates the love of God in fun and engaging ways. It's been a great extension of our family.
I first met Isaac at Liberty Christian Center International in 2013. Isaac showed promise as a leader, but needed direction and, most importantly, an opportunity. In 2014, I invited Isaac to be a supervisor in our JCT job training program. Right away, I was impressed with Isaac's high level of expectation, both for himself and for the youth under his supervision. But he needed guidance on how to help those young people achieve that high standard. Isaac spent the year learning to motivate youth and to cultivate relationships with clergy and lay leaders. He excelled in both regards and helped to develop an extension of the JCT program. Today, Isaac is the director of the JCT program and the program associate for Racial Justice Ministry for the Connecticut Conference. He also holds a leadership role as the music director at his home church in Hartford.
The United Church of Christ is the church we believe the world needs today. The world needs a church that proclaims no matter who you are, wherever you are in life's journey, you are welcome here. The world needs a church bold enough to say that God is still speaking. We believe the United Church of Christ is such a church. No single UCC congregation can be the church the world needs today. To be that world-changing church, congregations must come together to support and inspire one another. As the United Church of Christ, we know that it is together that we learn, we grow, and we love. We live reliant upon a fabric woven of mutual interdependencies. Our mission is to strengthen churches by empowering faith leaders to have creative and effective ministries. Focusing on leadership development and congregational vitality helps churches to continue to have the important impact on the world. And God needs us to support each other. Jesus calls us to be one. Our distinctive witness is urgent in the world in which we live, and our capacity to make a difference is greater when we work together. We're grateful for the ties that bind us together. We are thankful that through your financial gifts, you support our common ministry and our mission. Thanks be to God who has called us to be witnesses of God's love and justice and compassion. Thank you for your gifts.